Okay, it says we are live. Hey Scott, what's this? You got me concerned here. You got an eye surgery, just a second one.
Well, okay, so I have glaucoma. I think I said this last week. I have glaucoma, and have had it for years, several years, not super long time, but several years, last pre-pandemic for sure. Probably a couple of years, probably 2019. I was diagnosed, and basically all glaucoma is it's kind of a group name for a different diseases that increase the pressure in your eye, which ultimately will kill all the nerves in your eye and lead you to go blind. And glaucoma
Yeesh.
is the number one cause of blindness worldwide. So needless to say, I take care of this. Like I go to the doctor I go 4 times a year, whatever that is, every 3 months to the eye doctor, and I have some very expensive drops. Luckily, my insurance pays for the bulk of it. Very expensive eye drops that I use, and but they were. I went a few weeks ago, and my eye doctor said, the drops are not quite your pressure in your eye, which is what they measure when they blow air in your eye at the eye doctors. My eye doctor, I go to one that's uses a little more high tech stuff, but when they blow pressure in your eyes, it's to check your eye pressure, and mine was it needs to be under 20, and when I went a few Saturdays ago, it was like I think it was 21 and 27 or something like that. And so that raised some concern because I was doing the appropriate things and it was creeping up. So she suggested this laser surgery thing, which,
Hmm.
we did in the office, and I did it. She didn't do both eyes at once, thankfully, because it was kind of painful, I'll be honest with you. And they numbed my eye and they put a metal ring in my eye and they shot a laser in my eye for felt like about 10 minutes, but it's probably closer to 5 minutes. And it was miserable. Just having that ring in your eye is pretty
Yeah,
even
sheesh. Yeah.
numbed is
Oh,
miserable
I
with the
can't. I
thing in
can't
your
even
eye.
put contacts in my eye.
Uh,
I can't stand it. But
Oh
hey,
yeah, I have one of my employees. Eye stuff freaks him out, and he was about to pass out when I was telling him. He asked me, and I was telling him, and he was like, "Okay, stop. I can't take any
yeah.
years." And I've wore glasses since I was a little kid, so I've ran the gamut on eye. I had LASIK a few years ago. I wear glasses, but my vision is way better than it used to be. I mean, I could draw. I could get by without glasses, but I can see so. It's like the difference between a low def TV and a high def TV.
Hmm.
And so, when you get used to that, you're like, no, where are my glasses? But I mean, I could get by fine. Well, I shouldn't say fine. Signs would be hard to read, stuff like that. But I can get
Well,
by
that's
decent with
really
that.
weird, Scott. You don't wear glasses when I'm hanging out with you at
Yeah, I do.
all, as far as I know. You do.
Yeah, yeah,
You have
yes. Wait,
a glass wearing face. Okay, let me think. That
hang on,
doesn't
hang on.
seem right.
No, I
Okay, yeah,
dropped it.
yeah,
I have a
okay.
drawing you did of me wearing glasses hanging on
Okay, yeah,
my.
you're right. Never mind, never mind. Now that you remind me of that drawing, it's like, oh yeah, of course he wears glasses. What are you talking about? That's interesting.
right, right here.
I'm
You
going
drew
insane.
these glasses.
Oh my God, look
You
at
are
that.
going insane. You are going
What?
insane. But
What
anyway,
is that an
anyway,
Ellis? Is that an original?
yeah, it's original. You drew it, and I stole it from you.
Okay,
Like, give me that.
I wondered
I
where that
have a
was. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you're not getting it back. In fact, it's funny that you say that because I have several Ellis originals that I've bought from you over the years, and we haven't talked about a while. But I still am interested in trading my Corben books for your sketchbook if you're interested in
Oh,
that.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
I
which
want to
book was
look
that?
through
That
them
was
and
Flights of Fantasy, wasn't it? Thing's worth about five hundred
hang on,
dollars.
hang on. It was. Well, I don't see them on my shelf here. Maybe they're gone. Never mind. We're not. No. Uh,
Okay,
oh no. It's not flight. It's not Flights of Fantasy. It's the art. It's his art books.
okay,
It's these two art books.
okay.
But let me flip through them and make sure I want to do that deal because I'm sure
Yeah,
I would
let's see.
never buy these again.
Let's see.
But it's these two art
Yeah.
books.
What's the one on the left? Let me see that one on the left. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the art book. That's Richard Corben's art book, and this is volume 2.
Were you done with your stories about your eyes? I'm sorry. I kind of jumped in
Anyway,
there.
so that's okay. Yeah, you heard the opportunity to acquire some art books. So the laser surgery was to open up to break up. Apparently, my problem is there's I'll call them vents in my eye to relieve pressure, and mine apparently are clogged up or something. And so the laser breaks that up and kind of clears it out. And so I went from 21 and 27 to like 12 and 14. So well within the acceptable range.
So it's good news.
It's very good news. Absolutely
Okay,
good news. Yeah,
Good.
well, I mean, my eye is a little sore. And I mean, just sitting there and putting that ring in, just having your eyes zapped, and it hurts when they shoot it. I mean, it's like, ow, ow, ow. And I mean, so, that for 5 or 10 minutes. And I mean, I came home with these grand ideas of coming up and drawing, and all I did was lay on the couch. And I turned on, I've been watching Westworld. I turned on Westworld and fell promptly asleep, But
yeah, it takes it
anyway,
out of you, but your body reacts to that stuff and makes you tired.
Man, I go every 4 months to the eye doctor, and about half the time she'll dilate my eyes, and there's sometimes it just wipes me out because I can't see, and I'm just like, yeah. But
Yeah,
I've kind of gotten used to it, but yeah.
The system has to work harder. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My grandma had this theory that anytime you were injured or sick or whatever, you're much more prone to something happen. Like if you have a cold, for example, this is my grandma's logic. If you have a cold, you are much more likely, for example, to cut your hand. Unrelated. I mean,
No, when things go wrong, they cascade.
But her thing was, once the system is weak, something's more likely to happen. So. And I don't completely disagree with that. I mean, I can't point to any scientific basis for it, but I think
No, it's like if you elect Joe Biden, things start to go wrong. Yeah.
I should not be. Yeah, he should have known not to get on that damn bike.
Yep.
Well, don't get me started. We're so screwed. I mean,
we are triple screwed. I don't know. Everybody's saying it's not inconsequential that it's a guaranteed recession. I mean, that is so bad news that I can't even be put into words. Just what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to become a prepper all of a sudden? Just exist?
Okay, so.
Months?
We now live in a third world country. I mean, anybody doesn't believe that is, you and I are very fortunate compared to a lot of people I know because we have I'm going to use the word guaranteed, though we have a guaranteed roof over our heads. Our housing is paid for. I have employees.
I don't think that's guaranteed. No,
I don't think it's guaranteed, but I have employees that their rent went up $300 or $400 a month. I mean, just like, hey, by the way, next month your rent's gonna be $300 more. I mean, that's an old style car payment. Now it's not a car payment, but back in the day,
I've had something like that occur to me in Southern California when they were just basically trying to get out legacy renters. They just come back.
Really?
Yeah. They figured what the market would bear, and all of a sudden it's like, there you go. This is what you're paying now.
Yeah, but I mean, I know I know one of my employees that happened to him, and he's moving. He found a place that's a little more expensive than his current place, but it's nicer. One guy was renting a house, and he was paying. His sons were living with him when they rented the house. Well, his sons moved out, so he was struggling anyway because it was like $900 a month, and the house got sold, and the new people were like, "Oh, by the way, I think they gave him 2 months. His rent went up. I think it's $400 to from $900 to $1,300 a month.
Yep.
I mean, that's That's a lot of change, man.
Yep.
And then one of my guys was renting a trailer house. He's having a house built, and he was renting an apartment, and his apartment went up. I forget from like 900 to 1200, I think, or something like that. And it's just like, good grief, man. Anyway,
that is where the pain will be mostly felt, but we'll all feel it. I mean, just people that you encounter on the road that are ready to just angry as hell at what is happening to them. All of a sudden, it might be somebody that rams you.
Third world countries, and no shakes on any third world countries out there who may be listening, but one of the things is violence is more prevalent.
Yeah.
And it's just because people are pressured. I mean, for
pressure's
years,
on the rats are in the they're eating each other. Yeah.
Yep. I was reading an article that was saying that the largest aluminum manufacturer. Think about this for a second. The largest manufacturer of aluminum in the country has said, because of rising energy prices, they are having to reduce production. So I think they're doing a reduced shifts. I don't know if it's down from 24 hours a day or what. But think about what that's going to do on top of an economy or a supply chain where we're already having trouble, and then all of a sudden aluminum has just become a little bit more scarce.
Yep.
No,
it all has to be addressed, and it all has to come from that fish head where all the rot starts occurring. It has to come from the top, and if it doesn't come from the top, if you don't take a good hard look at Pete Buttigieg and say, "Are you back from raising your infant?"
or whatever.
Because we need some work done here. Okay,
what a joke.
Yep.
Yeah, what a joke. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get too political, but I mean,
we have wandered into political territory here. Yeah, I guess we talk about art.
Well, I mean, you will not convince me. The only people that have to be happy about how things are going are people that are just ideologues. They're just like, oh my gosh, don't tweet mean things. Mm-hmm. It's like, screw that. How about gasoline we can afford, or how about housing we can afford? At this point, I'd vote for
you need to be Jesse Kelly, the guy I follow on Twitter, who he says his only political stripe right now, or the only thing he calls himself now, is just anti-communist. That's his total identity, and that's what we all need to be right now. You could also call yourself anti-deep state, but
and part of it is they're so locked into this. And this is you're right. I mean, I don't know if they would call themselves communists, but it's definitely we are 100% ran by a dictator. It's this idea that I don't care how much misery I cause on my people. Here's what I believe.
Needs to happen. We need to have gasoline go away. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't complain about gasoline. Buy an electric car, and if you can't buy one, then tough shit. Don't walk. Ride a bike.
Use some of our fine public. And another thing that causes violence to you, all of a sudden, you got somebody that's not even culturally prepared for the idea of mass transit. You find out that mass transit's actually dangerous, and it's like what the hell? You that person automatically walks into a living, waking nightmare that he just had no idea was there. She.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, enough politics.
Okay.
So, did you want to talk about because I got something I want to talk about. Do you want to talk about read your email that you were going to talk about?
Okay, let me go ahead and read that for you, because I've been going back and forth with this guy. I sent him, he wanted one of my Bounty of Zone Z comic books. I sent him a couple. I held out for money though. I had him send me.
Oh, you absolutely should.
Yeah,
dude, you save that money. Dude, you're gonna need to buy rice in a few months.
Yeah,
I've only got. You need to grow rice.
I think I've got 8 copies left or something like that. So yeah, you should be aware of these.
I've got one.
Oh,
no,
cool.
Wait, is it small or is it big? I think I have a big one and a small one.
Yeah, you probably got one of the real ones. Okay.
What?
Okay, here's.
No, I got a bootleg.
Yeah, I'm interested in talking more about comic storytelling, as it really is a fascinating art form. However, first I have some good news. Some more members of the Vector Man crew got back to me for the Retro Gamer magazine feature. So the editor-in-chief gave me the green light to start working on the article. I know you've already answered a few questions about the game, but I'd like to get as much Ellis Goodson goodness into the feature as possible. Don't worry though, I'll just ask one at a time so things don't get too overwhelming. Okay, question.
Would you tell him you're old and you only take one question?
I've already given him my contribution.
Don't confuse me.
I've already given him my contribution and a couple other emails, and he's getting back to me, I guess, with another format. Anyway, it says, question. You're credited as an animator on Vector Man. However, in Ken Horowitz's book, Playing at the Next Level, A History of American Sega Games, he writes that you created concept art for most of the characters, environments, and game mechanics. Is that true? Were you more of a concept artist than an animator on the project? And then I replied to it. I guess I should go with the line from The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Ransom Stoddard. You're not going. Here, I'll try to do my James Stewart. Ransom Stoddard. Oh, you're not going to use the story, Mr. Scott? No, sir. This is the West, sir. When the legend becomes fact, print the legend. So, so that's from Liberty Valance.
That's what you were quoting.
When the when the legend becomes fact, print the legend. So then I say, and then I add, no, I had no idea I was being given such a chunk of credit for Vector Man. Unless some memories have been dislodged, I did a few sketches and then I did some animations and some sprite art. No background level design was ever placed on my plate. Game mechanics? Question. Not a bit. Oh, well, hopefully there's a few faces getting beat red with fury reading this Horowitz book. That would make it funny. I guess there's really no such thing. As history. There's only revisionism. So that was my reply to him.
That was your political state, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
that's true.
How about that? How about that? It's like someone.
That's pretty cool, man.
Did some research and decided, hell, without me, there would be no Vector Man, I guess.
There would be no Vector Man. Dude, hold on. Can you get royalties?
I don't know. Yeah, that's another thing.
You should hold out for.
It proves I'm telling the truth because I didn't get any big money for doing anything major on that. So anyway,
maybe they owe you money.
Maybe I'll have to look into that. I'll bring that book with me. Yeah, I'll bring that book with me. Are you calling Ken Horowitz a liar?
Yeah, no doubt. Do you have the book?
No, I haven't. That makes me want to at least get it out of the library, huh? If I can find it, I may have to get it on.
I want to read it.
Sure. Yeah, that does sound like an interesting topic, huh?
I love video game history books because I have zero interest in current video games, really.
Yeah.
Other than just a passing, that's pretty. But I mean, for the most part, the gameplay just bores me.
Yeah.
And But the history is interesting.
Gameplay reaches its peak when it's simplified, like almost everything. You simplify something, and that shows you're a little bit of a genius. That's your first step, is to make it simple,
Yes.
or keep it simple, stupid, is how KISS is the acronym for that. Keep it simple, stupid.
Well, here's my thing. Here's my take on video games. There was a peak, and I don't know what it is, and it's debatable when, but the problem is when the graphics got so realistic, everything went out the window in terms of I don't want to say creativity, because obviously there's a lot of creativity and a lot of artistic inspiration stuff that goes into the current crop of video games, any video game really.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a reliance on that because the graphics, they couldn't do anything with the graphics. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't just, nowadays they can, it's just like, well, let's just make a bunch of crazy stuff, and anything we want to do, we can do. And so they didn't have to be creative. That's the thing. Limitations sometimes drive creativity.
Oh yeah. They still have budgets though. That always becomes a major fight. Programmers.
Well, okay, maybe that was the limitation. I don't know.
The designers and the programmers always say no. Art can't have X amount of meg for this or that. It's like they do right away turn it into a kind of a fight on
but
that's
but awful. I think in gaming it's better when it's not it's it kind of reminds me of
what?
Computers. I mean, I've owned a computer for years. I mean, I bought my first computer probably in '92, and I've paid about $1,000 for every computer, within a couple $100 one way or the other. And they've gotten bigger. I mean, in terms of RAM and hard drive and stuff. But basically, I'm using it for the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, once Windows came along and you could run, at the time I was using Aldus Freehand. But I mean, once you had a vector program for drawing and Photoshop. I don't need really much more computer power than that, but I still keep paying. I mean, I should be able to have a simple computer that just runs, 90% of Photoshop function. I mean, I could probably get by perfectly fine on Photoshop 6. When did they introduce layers? That's what I need.
Yeah, that's all you need. Yeah.
And it just infuriates me because the software gets more bloated, and now they've gone to this, the cloud model, which I hate.
Yeah, no, that's it. They want to be landlords. They want to be
exactly.
They want a monthly flow of cash. It's like everybody. They want job security, and that's their way of seeking it.
Well, and maybe that's the thing. Yeah, if they don't keep making new models, my company and I won't buy, or my company won't buy new versions. So I guess they're. I guess I can understand that.
A regular version of Windows that everybody supports him on. They have to do a bit of software that you have to have that version of Windows.
Well, you
for your.
You know what I use at the You know what I use at the house?
What do you use?
I'm still in Windows 7 here, man.
Yeah.
I'm not it works. Why would I?
Well, they'll claim that. Oh man, you're so enormously vulnerable if you're using that or that. Whatever. But if you can get away with it.
I have so far.
Yep.
And I'm sure someday it'll bite me in the butt, but whatever.
No. Everybody gets bit in the butt, I guess, eventually by the stupid internet if they get on it at all. Someday.
Yeah. Well,
even if it's nothing more than someone showing up at your door that you have no idea that they've developed some sort of mission in life to punch you in the nose. I don't know. It could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, if someone wanted to find me, of course, you know what's weird is because a couple of years ago I sent out Christmas cards at Christmas time, and it is almost impossible to find people's addresses nowadays. A few years ago, you could
Oh
find
yeah,
anybody on the web, and it's
yeah.
gotten to where you can't find people, and I don't know. I don't know what the cause or
They're
what. I mean, I'm not
they're
really.
in hiding. They don't want to be found. Yeah, they're
Well,
trying to desperately.
there was a yeah. Anyway, okay. Was that the extent of the Vector Man
That,
so far?
oh yeah, that's the extent of the story. That's the first
That's
thing.
pretty cool, man.
Let's see. Wim, I don't know if you saw that thing when I clicked it. He said, "I'll pay 3 pennies." I imagine he's referring to the Bounty of Zone Z comic book.
Oh yeah.
And are you
It's
sure?
still.
Are you sure? And then Xander's rants says, "Are you sure computers are not farming for coins from a virus?"
Yeah.
Your computers. Oh, well, I tell you what, I've had some mystery performances in the past that made me think, what the heck? Is everything all right with my computer? And it might just be that the internet was not working in my little locality, or like you say, I may have been, what do you call it, hijacked to do some task,
Only if they can do it while they're turned off.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't use my home computer every day. I mean, I don't need to. I have a. I mean, of course, most people don't even have desktops anymore, apparently. So,
Really? I can't
Oh
imagine
yeah.
not having a desktop computer. I need it
can't
for
either.
my freelance, and it's the only way of course, I guess I could learn to do it other ways.
Most people don't do freelance work.
Yeah.
First off, so that doesn't affect them. But yeah,
I'm not
I
sure
have
you
a
can say
large format
most anymore.
scanner.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't consider driving an Uber freelance. They don't do art freelance on their computer.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So I'm gonna tell you a story.
Okay.
Last week I told you I was like, I'm so stuck. I'm having so much trouble. I've lost my mojo.
Okay.
And dude, literally, I don't know if you remember us having that conversation.
Yeah,
Literally, minutes after we hung up, I just had like a thunderbolt of inspiration. I was like, you know what? I know. I figured. I've solved. Well, I don't want to be. I'm always real dramatic when I make these. I've solved all my problems. I don't mean to be overly dramatic, but I think I've figured out. I've we've talked a lot about style and what you want your art to look like, and certainly with comics, it's good to have a style. And I have figured out what, because it always frustrates me. Well, it always frustrates me. So I came across a piece of art I'm going to show you, because
okay.
if you want to emulate a style, the ultimate thing would be to do something that'd be like, I should do everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found this piece of art it was right after we got off the computer. And this is a page that I did probably and you can see it's not finished. Probably in 2010. It's an Avenger sample from a script that Marvel sent me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing this, and I've had not this page, but this sample in my portfolio. And I'm gonna hold this panel up close to the screen.
Yeah.
And basically it's the Avengers are fighting this guy in Times Square. And I drew this panel, and as soon as I got done with it and I was continuing on the page, I go, I can't put that panel in there. It is too crowded. They will reject it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I dialed it back, and I wish I had the other pages handy, because I'll show you what the rest of them look like. And it's the style is similar. In fact, they may be on my webpage, but it's not this level of detail. And I pulled this, but I didn't throw this away because I think this panel looks great. I love it, and I hate to pat myself on the back, but I love this panel. And it's got some anatomy problems, that sort of thing. But I love the style, and I love how it's got a lot of detail.
The energy of it. Yeah.
At the time, I was obsessed with Jeff Darrow. So I was like, I want to draw like Jeff Darrow. Sorry, Darrow. And so that's who I was trying to emulate when I did this, and not very well, other than the fact it was really crowded. And so I rejected it because of that. But I came across that, and I thought, you know what? I think if I had drawn the rest of that, again, I'm going to be overly dramatic, but I was like, I think if I'd have drawn the rest of this comic or rest of this sample with this level of detail, like this, I think that it would have been a lot better sample. I think it would have had more impact. And I think the sample looks pretty good. There's some flaws in it, but the opening is a double page spread of Times Square that people always stop at when they're looking through my portfolio.
Sure.
Anyway, so this is what I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to try. I mean, I want to draw this, but better by 10 years worth of drawing and anatomy and that sort of thing. And I mean, it really, and whether you like this or not, I think it looks cool, but whether you like it or not, it kind of lit a fire under me. And so I'm working on page 4 of this book now. So this is, I think I was working on page 1 last time, and I'm going to go back and add some detail, but there's page 1.
Well, I tell you, yeah, go ahead.
No,
no, that looks great. That's a nice. Yeah, I like that building up there too, as far as a representation of like setting the scene. It's a really, it works. It works.
Yeah. I'm happy with it. Like I said, I'm gonna go back and kind of some of this. So this page, I changed a few things, and the top panel I'm gonna trade out for this panel. I think the anatomy works a little better in the revised one. I don't know what you think about that, but
yeah, it's interesting. She's got a couple of. I got. Which one are you going to use?
The bottom one.
The bottom one. That's interesting, because the first thing I was going to say when I looked at the bottom one is that that's not where her foot would be in terms of like.
Oh, really?
You're correct on the other one. So it's like.
Oh, you think I should show the bottom of her foot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of struggled with that,
but
I kind of almost did it almost like a fisheye thing, where like. The perspective, it's like right here's the vanishing point, and her leg is like it's this way, but then it's this way.
Well, yeah, but you've got a very, very orthographic grid on the background, so you can't go fisheye with her in there.
Well,
I guess you could.
This one doesn't. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Hey, I'm going to go see if I've got another cup of coffee. Hey, I'm going to go see if I've got another cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
No, stop.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Page 3. Here's the page 3.
Okay. Oh, wow. You got it very roughed in, huh? That's cool. Yeah, you got pencils. You can. Yeah. No. That's good. You got pencils.
I was very happy with the last panel.
No, that's great. No, I'm seeing it there. That's in terms of like you said, you're just looking for, the ability to engage again and have a good time with it. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, okay, go get coffee.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm going to look on my shelf to see if I can find my copy of The Bounty of Zone Z. I saw it. It was here somewhere. I put all my Ellis books together, and I can't remember where they're at on the shelf here. My shelves are kind of a mess.
Heck, I was out of coffee. Did you go get coffee too?
I purposely did not make a pot this morning. No, I got coffee. I purposely did not make a pot this morning, And then when I got home from the eye doctor, I made a pot of coffee. So I had a fresh pot. I was looking for and I still am looking for my copy of The Bounty of Zone Z. I can't find it. I know I've got it. Thought I had all my Ellis books here together. I have Retro Ellis.
That would have Bounty of Zone Z in it. Yeah, it's
but
got
I
the
have
entire
a Bounty of Zone. Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I have your storyboards.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got that one that I call storyboards? Man, that was a poorly conceived.
This one.
Oh my gosh, that's show everybody just how awful the sizes are in that of my work. Look at
Very
that.
Small.
You can't read the damn things. I don't know what I was thinking. It's like that's from Space Jam.
You're being.
Yeah. And there's that's from a pitch. That pitch was man, I thought that was a great little pitch. It was about a couple of robots.
What'd you draw this with?
I don't know, ballpoints, whatever.
Okay.
But it's a great little pitch. It's about a couple of dogs. No, it's just one dog, and he gets blown up.
That's some sort of marker.
Yeah. and the dog is put back together by the Mad Doctor owner, and he's made into two dogs. One has got a robot.
Look at this.
Oh yeah, that's
I like that.
Yeah. That's actually I did.
I have this. Animation. I don't know if I've ever. Oh, Fox test. Were you testing out for?
Yes, I did it.
Were you trying out?
I did a test for their little. Those are black people, I believe, and I forget what the name of the program was. I don't think it lasted long. It's one of the few things that.
This is Family Guy, I think.
Yeah, Family Guy guy. One of his few failures, I guess. Guy's got more money than. And there's Wally? My storyboards from Wally. Yeah. For the cinematics on that. Well, those are at least kind of a little bigger.
Yeah. I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, even though they're not.
If somebody wanted to buy this, where can they buy this, Ellis?
I think that's still available on Amazon.
Is it still?
Yeah.
Dude, that was how old is this drawing or this painting?
Well, that I put that on the cover of Sticky Doodles as well. That was something I did for, if you type in Sketch Theater Ellis Goodson, you can watch me draw that live. So that's kind of fun.
It's funny. When you moved to Oklahoma, now, okay, so you
my
were
life
part
ended.
Of the Oklahoma. Your life ended. No, that's not true. You were part of the Oklahoma comic group. And you met us we had a get together, but you put like I think you said you introduced yourself online before, and you put out your bio or your resume on there, and I read your resume and I was like, good grief, what is this? This guy's done everything. I was very impressed by your resume. Because you'd worked on so much stuff, and I look at this stuff and I'm like, good grief.
The working on so much stuff is almost like a tragedy. It's like, what, you never found a job where you could stay? But that's also kind of like Southern California too. I mean, especially art. It's like, you're constantly. It's a hustler's game. You really. And it's like any comic book artist you can name. It's like that's what makes so Brubaker and the Phillips. Is it Phillips?
Oh, Sean Phillips.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Phillips. Sean Phillips.
That's what makes them so rare. I mean, they've been doing the same stuff for
a little bit of Ellis's life drawings there.
Life drawings. did I put that? Oh yeah, I guess I did put that in that storyboard book. It's like I'm just trying to prove I
Comic
can
work.
draw. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they don't really care if you can draw.
Well, and
I had a guy tell me that.
yeah,
I
that's
think
the
he was
problem.
trying to hurt my feelings. He was a Asian guy, and he
Did it
had
hurt
me
your?
in
Did
his
it hurt your?
office.
Did it hurt your
No,
feelings?
it did hurt my feelings, and I think
I
he
can
was
see you
trying
going,
to.
okay.
No,
Yeah, I don't think that would offend you.
he was in charge. He was the art director on the game I was on. It was Up, the game Up for Pixar. He brought me into the offices, and he was trying to sort something out, and he made the throwaway comment, Ellis, anybody can draw. And it's like, well, that's all I'm bringing to the equation. So when you tell me anybody can do it, you're telling me that I'm just barely necessary. And I didn't say that, but that's the feelings that went through me for that, and that's exactly what he was after. And it was very annoying to think about, and still obviously annoys me.
Well, I mean, dude, it's office politics.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. And I came in under something that I didn't realize it until I got a lot smarter or thought about it more later, was that I came in under the auspices of a guy that was, I've told you about Mike Dietz before. And, a guy that is so well liked, he will never not have a job. Well, that's not my personality, but for whatever reason, for whatever reason, Mike Dietz really liked me and got me a job. And so I came in under that protection. I continued having that protection for a while, even though Mike left for a little bit. But then when it went away, I kind of learned that a lot of people thought, none of us like this guy. And so, you don't want to suddenly find yourself realizing, man, why have things changed so much? It's like that.
It is. I tell you what, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I had a situation at work, and I did not realize. I mean, I knew. But I think, at least at my work, until you get in management, you don't realize how much politics there are.
Oh yeah,
and
it's
it's like, and it can be, it can be tough. And
yeah,
I have found myself at least weekly getting called on the carpet about something, and you just go, okay, well, and it's not that anyone, I kind of get reprimanded, but I don't get I don't do anything wrong, but it's because I'm in a new role and I'm trying to figure out the boundaries, and I have not figured them out. And I had to go, I got sent an email that was sent to my supervisor that was just like, hey, you need to tell Scott to knock this off. And it was and he wasn't trying to get me fired, I don't believe. I don't think he had any bad motives. I just had stepped into his territory on something.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly was very annoyed initially. And then I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? This is a guy that I don't want to upset. I don't want him, I think he handled this wrong. I think if I handled it the way he had handled it, he would have been annoyed, gone to his supervisor and complained. But he's a level up above me, and so I went to him and apologized. And I just said, hey, I think I owe you an apology. And I talked to him, and I told him, oh yeah, my supervisor talked to him because he, wanted my supervisor to do something, and so I didn't want him to think my supervisor didn't do anything. And so I just went to him and taught, I'm sorry. This is, and I said, I don't want to explain the situation, because I don't want you to think that I'm making excuses. And I just said, but this kind of got out of hand. I got a little enthusiastic and got in, stepped on your toes a little bit, and I don't want to do that. And it was never my intention, and he was like, oh yeah, and then but it's like, man, I nipped that stuff in the bud because I don't want,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that happens. That comes back to you in weird ways. Yeah, you think, what this needs is a little touch of Scott here, and then it's like, and then it's like somebody says, no, what are you thinking? And it's like, maybe it didn't need a little touch of Scott.
You've got to have allies, and you cannot. And I have noticed and it's not that you want to kiss up to people, but man, enemies, you never know. I mean, the thing is like my supervisor is going to retire, and I suspect it's going to be within a couple of years, and I may get his job, I may not, and it may depend on. I mean, this guy may have the ability to put the kibosh on it, if I'm not. And so you have to, they really, when you're
his vote might count. It's like, hey, that guy's burned me a couple of times. I can't vote for that guy.
And on the flip side, I want him to see me as somebody he can trust.
Yeah.
And and my employees occasionally, especially my longtime employees, they'll get annoyed with me because something will happen and they'll go, oh, did you hear about this? And I'll be like, oh, yeah, I knew about that. And they'll be like, oh, why didn't you tell us? It's like, because one thing I've learned is you got to learn to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
I know people have told me stuff.
Yeah, you don't want it coming back to you.
I think they're almost testing me.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'm like, I may be the only person they've told this.
Yeah.
And if it gets out, I don't trust anybody.
Yeah, find out how trustworthy I am.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've learned you got to keep your mouth shut.
This goes to the heart of why, and I've called it. I've got a foul word expression for it. That it's one of the worst words you can use, so I can't use it here. But basically, I call it a jerkocracy. Not the word I would ordinarily be using, but where it's like jerks are at the top of the food chain in any sort of office politic kind of situation. They thrive there, and it's
there
like
can be
it happens a lot anyway. It happens a lot.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, and probably in every company.
Yeah, and so that sort of thing explains why government. Can you imagine? Anyone saying, "Yeah, let me work for Adam Schiff. That's my style." And yes, there will be. And it's like, my
absolutely.
God, that was just a screening operation for getting one of the worst human beings on earth working on important things.
Yep. Yeah. So, it was a PR campaign.
Yeah, it's like
for him. Well, and my thing. So what bamboozled me at work a lot is, and I was telling somebody else at work this is when they promote you, at least at my work, you have no idea what they expect out of you, and they don't expect you to do what you were doing before.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what am I supposed to be doing? And I mean, I know, and I mean, but if you pin me down on at any various time, the odds of me being able to tell you, like, even what I did that day are so remote, because it's like, I mean, my boss has told me, I don't want you drawing stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I'm an artist, and I mean, I don't have a problem with that because I understand what he's saying. I have management type stuff to do, but you have to make it. It's like, oh God, and luckily I've got 3 departments, but I look back to my old boss who had my same title, and he had one department with about 5 people under him. And I'm like, what did he do all day? Because he wasn't an artist. He didn't do any art. But the nice thing is the cool thing is I can now pick and choose what I work on. Like I sent you
yeah, that was cool.
The undercover police came in, or part of the undercover, and they wanted a statue made that of the Mexican Santa Muerta, because apparently that's a drug cartel thing, and so they kind of have taken it as their own kind of symbol, and they wanted one with an undercover cop badge and a gun. The final one I did had a gun on it and doing a shushing noise or shushing motion with his mouth, and so that was pretty cool. That was a fun project, and I honestly I couldn't have given that to any of my guys because I don't think they could have done it. They're not. I mean, some of my sculptors are, but in terms of like my other people are not artists. My sculptors are all busy right now, but that was fun.
And your sculptors are all 3D sculptors, right, or not?
No. I have two sculptors I have one that does both, and I have one that's just a traditional sculptor. So. Okay, so I'm going to show you something else. So I picked this book up the other day, a half-price book. This is the Marvel 2-in-1 Essential. And I was telling you how I found that piece of art. And I'm always looking for comics. Let's see if I can find the exact picture. Yeah, this is it. So this is George Perez. And I'm a big John Byrne fan. But I'm looking at this, I'm going, good grief, I should study more George Perez, because to me this is more like what my sample looks like, or the panel that I liked up there. So I've been reading. There's a lot of it's George Perez as inked by Gene Day.
I was going to ask, did Perez ink that?
No, it's Gene Day. Gene Day is, I don't know much about him personally, but he's inked a lot of comics that I like. But I mean, look at that. I mean, I love that. There's something about
very,
that
very heavy line to it. It's not a delicate touch. I wonder.
And see, so
no. I mean, a good contour line is basic to a good read. You want to have a good read.
Well, and my comics, when I was originally trying to break into comics, 15 years ago, everything I drew had a real heavy line on it. And people would comment and tell me, well, it looks too retro, and they would say, somebody told me it makes it look flat because you use such a heavy line. And I think I should have ignored that person. But you go to these cons and you wait in line, and people, they look at your art for 2 seconds and they make comments. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
I love that panel.
Yeah.
It's got like a nice amount of detail, but
I've got Ben Grimm underwater.
Exactly.
I wonder how buoyant Ben Grimm is.
Look at that panel, man.
Yeah. That is pretty well. That's a good crowd scene, good depth, pretty good read.
Yeah.
You can't get away with not having something like that, as complicated as that is, being a little camouflage, but pretty good. And you say that's George.
Anyway,
Perez, obviously.
Yeah, George Perez. This particular book has a lot of George Perez and a little bit of John Byrne. It's when John Byrne was kind of switching out with George Perez on Marvel 2-in-1. A lot of these I have in my box, or my boxes, because I was reading Marvel 2-in-1. And I've decided that if I ever work on my own comic, I like Ben Grimm as kind of like a what is it? Oscar Madison? Is he the Messi of the of the Odd Couple? I like him as kind of
Oscar and Felix. Yeah, I mean, just as a writer, which would you ascribe to being the fastidious one, Oscar or Felix?
It's definitely Felix.
Yeah.
Because he was the one. But so as a kid, I mean, I watched the show, but to me, like, Ben Grimm was kind of an Oscar kind of, just kind of a schlub. And
Yeah.
I thought, man, what a great, and I was like, you know what? That should be my comic. Not necessarily with the Thing, but you remember Concrete, just
Yeah.
kind of
Vaguely,
not
I read a couple of those, I think, and it was cool. The idea, as I remember it. What was the idea of Concrete?
He was stuck in some kind of alien. His personality got stuck in an alien body. That was an alien. I don't know if it was an artificial construct or what, but it was an alien that his personality was in.
Okay, that is cool. Yeah, that is quite a predicament, huh? Yeah, I like that.
Right,
I like
but he
that
wrote
concept.
it specifically to not be a superhero comic. I would have done it as a superhero. Mine would have been a straight rip of Ben Grimm.
I'm surprised they haven't made a movie of that. That's
Concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of am too. Maybe Chadwick is. Apparently, the one that anti-movie.
Anti-wealth. It's like
he might. Well, he might be because he's an environmentalist, and some of the later things that was kind of the thing was. Concrete was kind of an eco-terrorist or something like that.
Huh. Interesting.
I mean, I don't know how terrorist he got, but he was definitely, and I mean, I'm not. It's been a while. There was a miniseries called Think Like a Mountain that Dark Horse put out. That was, I think it came up on my radar because it had Jeff Darrow covers.
And of course, he had a really great style, which was what? Very simple. You liked it because of its simplicity.
Yes.
And obviously good design too. But that's what makes good design often is keep it simple.
Well, storytelling is.
Yeah.
I was looking. I went to the comic shop the other day and I was looking at one of the. I think it was there's a new Fantastic Four series. I just looked at it and I'm like, golly, there's no dynamics and no storytelling here. I've been going back to the comic shop. Of course, I always end up buying back issues.
Yeah.
but hey, you know what? My back issue money's green.
Yep, that's right.
Well, our friend Dave came down and ate lunch with me. It's been a couple months now. Because he didn't work a long ways from me. He's straight up Broadway Extension from me.
Oh, he is.
Anyway, he met me for lunch. Yeah, and so he said, hey, do you want to go eat? He texted me like, hey, you want to go eat lunch? I said, yeah. So after lunch, he was like, hey, do you want to go to the comic shop? And I go, yeah. And so I was like, I haven't been there in a while. And he's like, what? You don't go every Wednesday? And so I'm going to start going every Wednesday. I bought, let me show you what I bought last Wednesday.
Which one?
I bought the last 2 Wednesdays.
Which one?
It's over on 29th in Del City. It's New World, but it's not the one on Meridian.
Okay.
The original owner sold one store to one guy and the other store to another. Okay. So I got this a few weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and I've got these singles, but this is like, I think it's the first 4 issues. It's $9. I was like, you know what? I'll read that. And, just for nostalgia, I mean, to me, this was like a cool period in comics. There was no Bronze Age, but it was still pretty cool. I mean, comics were more exciting then than they are now. So, and then I bought this week, the Kree Skull War. And I got home and I realized I already had it in a different edition, but this is a lot better printing. Anyway, I want to read this.
Doing those cards taught me that Marvel, when they authorize these cards and what they'll pay you for and all that, do not touch any of those scroll things. Apparently there's I don't know, someone has landed on the scrolls and I don't know who owns them, Fox or somebody, But Marvel doesn't want you doing any sort of trading cards that involve the scrolls.
Really? I wonder why. Yeah. I love the scrolls.
I don't know.
I don't know if you're familiar with this.
You don't mess with in terms of like producing a card. And I honestly,
maybe because they're tied to the Fantastic Four or something.
Yes, exactly. There is probably.
Anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's what I've been up to. Oh, also I've been drawing with a 0.5 mechanical pencil. That's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good, nice workhorse size. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
A 5 is. Is fairly small, right?
Yeah. It's. Well, the common sizes are 5, 7, and 9, which I got all of them. Right. But I like this pen or this pencil. It holds the lead pretty good, and so I'm using. I've been switching. I got a couple here.
That's pretty important. That lead, you know, if you feel like it's getting floaty on you, you just want to, just throw that one away.
Well, and with a 5, when I draw, it gets kind of an angle on it, and so I can kind of turn it one way and it goes thin, and one way it goes thicker. And I used to use a 5 all the time, or a mechanical pencil, and that's why I'd do those outlines around. I'd get like a 0.9, do like a bold outline around stuff, and it's like, I need to do some more of that, or go back to that. I don't know. I just found that sample, and I was like, you know what? If I'd have drawn the whole thing with the level of detail and everything that I put in this one panel that I rejected, self-rejected, I think it would have been again, I'm not saying, oh my gosh, I'd have broke into comics in 2009 if I'd have done that. I don't know about that, but.
That's supposedly, that's the first thing that most of these success things, and especially with regard to writing, they say finish things. It's like that's your number one step is to go ahead and finish, which I don't do. I've got a couple of things still floating around that I haven't finished.
Hey, you're going to finish my pinups, though, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. When is that? When should I do that?
You got a little bit of time, I think. I don't know what the due date is. We haven't. I haven't talked. I think I don't know what issue. I don't think those are for issue 1. So.
Okay. Well. So I've got 2 years basically to do your pinups.
No, you don't have 2 years.
Pinup. Yeah.
You have 2 months or a month. I'll give you a month.
I got a good reaction on that little thumbnail. The thumbnails I put out, but especially one little thumbnail. So I've had it screened for me which one I'll use. It's I'll have a little Heaven's Reject there, a little angel shooting a Sten gun, which is that one with the clip that the British use for a handle when they shoot them, but it kind of shoots out at a kind of an odd.
Is that the hand?
It's their typical machine gun.
That's not the Han Solo gun, is it?
It might be. They're stamped out and very cheap. They're no Thompson, but even though Thompson was mass produced, Thompson was the favorite gun of the IRA, the Irish Irish terrorists. Yeah, they even have a song about listening to the hearing the Thompson sound.
Oh my gosh. Is that a Clash song? Sounds like a Clash
I
song.
don't know. Yeah. Well, no, it's some old, like almost like a rallying cry song, dating back to, that's the
Oh,
deal. Some of
jeez.
the ads back, you can find ads for selling Thompsons where it's like you could mail order
Yeah.
for a machine gun,
Yep.
and it shows this
Yep.
cowboy with a Thompson stepping out on the out on his porch to you know shoot something, and here we are with you know all our controversy trying to get our Second Amendment rights. It just shows you it goes to the idea of,
And it's not even a machine gun.
yeah,
It's
it
an
goes,
AR-15, which is
well,
it just
yeah.
looks vicious.
Yeah, it's
Don't get me
it's shooting a
started.
rifle around. Anytime you show up with a rifle in what you're
Well,
used to
yeah.
as a handgun context, you're going to be shooting through two people at once and things like that. You're going to get more mayhem with a rifle round, yes. But these jerks that are doing it are all little soulless kids that have been on Ritalin their entire babyhood, and then
Yep.
they get off Ritalin when they hit 18 and 19, and their brains have been cored out, and nobody is drawing that. Well, I mean, several people
No,
are,
some
but
people are.
it's.
Tucker had a good thing about that exact thing.
Oh, really? Big pharma is the
That's it.
reason you aren't hearing about it.
He talked about drugs. He talked about he talked about drugs. He talked about the social context of social pressure from the economy.
Yeah.
Especially we live in a culture where boys are basically I don't want to say emasculated, but just tried to stamp down.
Well,
And I don't
no,
think a lot of they
that's
don't have an
teachers.
identity.
What's weird is I don't think that when I was remembering my mom's early days as a teacher, when she would report on this or that problem, she would talk about rambunctiousness. But you know what? A lot of the rambunctiousness she would mention would be little black kids. But you never hear about the rambunctiousness of little black kids being reined in with Ritalin. They don't do it to little black kids, but they seem to say, okay, we aren't taking any of your crap if you're a little white kid. It seems like I'm just saying this. Maybe this is not true. This is maybe something I just think. But
I don't know. Yeah,
you don't think. I'll have to see if there's some sort of data on that. Does black culture go for that idea of Ritalin for their kids? Because there's entirely too many white people, and of course with the other cultures, I mean, you get rambunctious white kids, you get rambunctious black kids. I don't know about. I doubt very much little Mexican kids are ever given Ritalin, but that they get rambunctious.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think it's entirely. I think it's entirely.
But,
well, when I say rambunctious, just causing a problem for teacher. The teacher doesn't.
Not necessarily.
Doesn't want to be reining them in with whatever they've got as strategies for reining them in.
Well, I don't think they have any strategies. I mean, and I'm not blaming teachers. I'm just blaming the school system. From what the teachers I talked to, it sounds like, and the parents don't seem to care. And I talk to teachers. I'm like, good grief, I'm not getting anything for my education dollar. It seems like, but on the Tucker Carlson thing about the shootings. His deal was we just create this pressure cooker, and then we live in a violent society. We've just come through 2 years ago this summer where violence was encouraged, And then we're shocked when kids shoot up a school or whatever. Well, I mean, I guess we should be shocked, but the cause of, I mean, I think the cause of all this stuff is, or I don't know, we live in a third world country, Ellis.
Yeah. No, it's going to get worse. That's all you can predict safely.
Well, I am one of my employees today. I was talking to her, and she's an older lady, and she's like, I'm just so depressed about well, you know what? I've had 3 of my employees separately tell me that. One of them.
Well, no, yeah, it's in the air, basically, yeah.
No, absolutely. Hard economic times, and the problem is, one of the people that told me they were depressed about how things were going. They are younger, and I don't know. Let's see. Let me do the math. He's 28, so he was born in the mid 90s. So he probably got. He probably was in college in 2008 when the economy was bad. Didn't live through the housing crisis.
I lived through Jimmy Carter, and I thought America had reached the end of its trail, and I forget what that was called. That had a particular name for it at the time. It's not ennui. It's some other term. Malaise. Thank you very much. Because I remember that word, because it was basically outlawed during Obama's period of time, where much of this again happened. I mean, that's all Biden is doing, is reusing all the talent from Obama, and but it went out to all the media guys.
Buttigieg.
It went out to all the media that do not use malaise. That was a Carter term. Yeah. We do not want parallels to our guy Obama with that word, and they dutifully never used it.
The sad thing is,
that is the word, malaise.
The sad thing is, I have a friend or a guy that I work with, and him and I carpooled for a couple of years until he moved, and now he doesn't live near me, but we carpool together. And he's a big right wing guy. We talked about politics a lot, and he hated Bill Clinton.
Oh yeah.
And in retrospect, Bill Clinton wasn't too bad.
Well, Clinton was trying things out. Yeah, that's the reason to hate him. He tried out a lot of stuff that just Obama just stuck the pedal to the metal on.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
he wasn't sure.
Ellis, I think we're done.
Yeah, we've been over an hour. We're at hour 12, as a matter of fact.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, we had a lot to talk about, I guess.
Yeah, we did. I didn't get a lot done on my page, but I got a little bit done. I talked more than I drew, I think.
Well, that's
anyway.
Good.
I'm not in my my slump, so I feel
I tell you what,
whether I'm on the right track or on the wrong track, at least I'm producing.
The mojo is back. I tell you what, though, Scott, if you ever go bald, make sure you keep this podcast because your hair was always saw during the entire show.
I try not. I need to. The problem is I've tilted my desk.
That's all right.
And it's at
I'm just kidding you.
Or fairly steep angle. That's okay. No. I try and be conscious of that, but I can't.
No, you can't. You got to look.
So far, so good.
Do your drawing. Yeah. Okay. Well. Scott, you ready to call it quits? Okay. And I still have.
Let's call it.
I have the blog still. Everybody should look at Scott's. He's offered the first issue of Evans Rejects, and it's linked below. So check that out.
Let me say something, Ellis.
Okay.
I right before we started recording, I went in there and I looked at it because I can tell like a count of how many people looked at it. And I've had about 50 people look at it.
Oh, good.
But I was
Cool.
looking through the page. I was reading the blurb, and I was looking at the cover, and I was looking at the pages. And the more I look at it, the more I like it. It's like, okay, maybe that isn't as bad as I thought it was. Well, so hopefully, I mean,
no, it's finished for one
hopefully
thing. That's what's beautiful about it.
4 issues are finished.
Yeah.
God, I just gotta get the thing to sell. Hey, I'll tell you something crazy. The writer, one of his books through the same publisher, they're selling them in Targets now. So, so I mean, if it hits, it has the potential to get some reach.
No, I could see right away. Someone being interested in it. Of course, what used to be a hot place to sell to was Netflix. Apparently, they're spiraling down the drain. Who would have predicted that?
Yeah. All I really want, I don't care. Everybody's, I want a Netflix deal and make a lot of money. I don't give a crap about that. I don't care. I just want it to sell well enough that they go, God, we got to do a sequel.
Sure.
That's all I want. We talked earlier about hustle, and one of the things that I hate about being an artist is the idea you're always hustling for work. I've worked at my job for 35 years. I'm happy about that. I don't want to be out. I think that if you're an artist and you have to hustle for work, I think it takes a lot of energy that I don't want to spend.
It's a lot of anxiety doing it too. Yeah.
Exactly. And so if the book, which is why I don't think I'd ever quit my job to draw I mean, if Marvel called me, I'd be like, I'm not quitting my job. I'll do it if I can do it on the weekends and on the side. But I don't want to, and comics are so flighty anyway, but I'm hoping that this book does well enough that because I've hustled for comic work literally for almost 20 years until I started working on this. And now I'm back to the same thing. I'm working on this, trying to get, this has some people connected to it, and they're going to do a Kickstarter or something, but
Oh, okay. No, I thought you froze for a second. Okay. Well, are you ready to call it a night?
Ellis,
wow, we went. Yeah, I'm here. Hour and 17 minutes, Scott. You ready to quit?
Uh-oh.
No. I guess you did freeze for a second. Scott can't hear me. I think I will just go ahead and end because he'll get a glitch every now and then. Okay, I'll write him an email. So farewell.
Yeah, we got a glitch. We got a glitch. Okay. I'll see you. Okay.
Bye-bye.